So in 1875, the first professional women's baseball game was held in Springfield, Illinois, and it was organized by a league that had the nickname of the Bloomers, which came from the name of the pants that the women were wearing. The game was more for entertainment purposes, so they didn't really keep an official score, and the teams were the blondes and the brunettes. In 2015, the National Women's Hockey League was created with 4 teams: the Boston Pride, Buffalo Beauts, Connecticut Whale, and New York Riveters, compared to the NHL, which is comprised of 31 teams ranging from the east coast of the United States and Canada all the way to the west coast of the United States and Canada. The salary cap for the National Women's Hockey League is $270,000, whereas the NHL, each team has a salary cap of $75 million. In 1946, the NBA was created. As of today, there are currently 30 teams in the league. The most recent champion was the Golden State Warriors. And in 2016, the league MVP, Steph Curry, made $11.4 million, not including his endorsement deals, which brings his total well over $100 million. In 1997, the WNBA was created. They currently are comprised of 12 teams. The most recent champion was the Los Angeles Sparks. In 2016, the league MVP played for the Los Angeles Sparks. Her name was Nika Agomike. She made the league maximum salary, which was $95,000. The lowest paid player in the NBA was paid that season $490,000. This just goes to show the difference in salaries between an average NBA player and the league MVP of a women's basketball league. I'm here with ACHA goaltender Andrew Evars. Thanks for being here today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, so growing up in the New Hampshire area, what was it like with women and men competing together?
Yeah, growing up, I remember in Little League, whether it be baseball or hockey, that there wasn't enough women to form their own separate teams, so it would be more of a co-ed kind of thing. There would only be 1 or 2 girls per team, if that. And then as I got into maybe high school, there would be more women getting into their respective sports, so they would form their own teams. But other than that, there wasn't enough of them to have their own team when I was younger.
So what's your feelings on North Dakota cutting their women's ice hockey team this season?
Yeah, I didn't really follow too much about the whole situation there. I know that they have a pretty good D1 club. I think they won the national championship last year. Is that correct?
I'm not entirely sure.
They might have. Anyway, I know that their men's program brings in quite a lot of money, and that could have been the issue with the women's team, that they perhaps weren't bringing in the money because the men were taking the majority of the profit there. But that probably was the main issue. Again, I didn't really research it too much, but usually it's a financial decision that they have to make, and if that wasn't really fitting the bill, then it made sense for them to cut the program. But like I said, I didn't research it too much, but that's my thought.
All right, well, thank you, Andrew.
Hi, I'm Samantha Fiedler, and I'll be talking about gender equality in sports scholarships. Gender equality in scholarships funding has caused some of the most heated debates in collegiate sports. Women have been fighting for equality in college sports for decades because of sexism and other social issues. With the passage of Title IX and the inception of the Women's Intercollegiate Athlete Association, later absorbed by the NCAA, great strides have been made. However, colleges in the U.S. still struggle to meet demands of gender equality. The Women's Intercollegiate Athletic Association was the governing body for all-female intercollegiate athletics from 1972 to 1982. The organization fought to keep female athletics separate from male athletics, to ensure equal funding for equipment and scholarships. While athletes and coaches were beginning to feel that the organization was holding them back by isolating female athletics, this caused male and female athletics to be viewed as unequal.
Hi, I'll be talking with Coach Sissy today. How long have you been working Well, I've been here at Mercyhurst for 25 years, 6 with the men's team and 19 with the women's hockey program. So I'm happy to talk with you today.
I have a few questions to ask. What is your opinion on women's sports today?
Well, I think it's awesome. Women of all ages are playing sports, and it's great that they can show how talented they are and intelligent and all their athletic ability. And it's just a great way for them to grow as people and showcase all their talents.
What are some features
Well, I think obviously everyone's concerned with safety both on the men's side. I think that's important to continue to do that. But anything we can do to help them get started. I think what's nice is a lot of times both on the men and also the women's side, there's great athletes coming from neighborhoods that maybe don't have all the resources. So anything we can do to help make sports affordable and maybe even have equipment available, pockets and implements of sports, for instance, is really tough to waste time. So when we can get young kids started for a relatively inexpensive price, just so they can get a taste for the sport, see if they like it, and get their skills growing, I think that'll certainly help everybody in all walks of life. Thank you.
During the early days of organized sports, women were generally not allowed to participate given the era, and the underlying idea that sports are violent and for strong men, not for the delicate woman. Even in large events like the Olympics, women were not allowed to participate in any category. In the 1900s, the first group of women were allowed to enter the Olympics in just 5 different sports. Slowly, this grew to our current times where women are almost at equal participation as men in the games.
Amid great controversy, it was decided to allow women to compete in track and field for the first time. Fears were expressed that athletic competition could physically damage the weaker sex.
This has been the general trend in the entire world of sports. How this idea that sports are for men began to deteriorate about a century ago, and very quickly female athletes proved their place in sports. In 1972, only about 250 girls participated in interscholastic sports, and this idea was almost completely destroyed with the creation of Title IX.
Today, lots of girls play sports. But for a long time, girls were not encouraged to kick, throw, run, jump, shoot, slide, or hit like boys. So why did things change? And how much have they changed? Are girls and boys treated equally when it comes to sports? To begin to answer these questions, we have to look back. In 1972, Congress passed a law called Title IX, which protected girls and women from discrimination in schools, colleges, and universities. This included discrimination in school-sponsored sports.
This law was passed as part of the anti-discrimination laws in schools and said that no federally funded program could reject a person based on their gender. After just 4 years, the number of girls playing interscholastic had gone up to 2 million. But the fight for equality was not over. In 1984, the Supreme Court ruled on Grove City College v. Bell, saying that Title IX was program-specific, meaning that if a program didn't specially receive federal aid, then the law did not apply to them. The participation of girls in sports continued to reaching an all-time high in 1994 of about 1 in every 7 girls playing school sports. Even though it may feel like we are over this idea of girls not being able to play sports, the underlying idea that girls are not at the same levels as boys continues, and this limits the growth of women professional sports.